For the record, the time is 6:10. This is now the Business Committee meeting of the Board of Trustees of United ISD. We're present. It is Wednesday, November 14th. For the record, all Mr. Vélez, Mr. Juan Roberto Ramirez, Ms. Oliveros, Mr. Molina, Mr. Gilpin, and myself are present. Item 1A, action items to be reviewed at the regular board meeting on November 26th with recommendations to be made by the Business Committee. Number 1, approval of monthly disbursements.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Montemayor, board members, board of trustees, President Alisa. Something very hard for me to say after all these years.
Kiss the
I'll be
ring.
nice if my mother's here.
That's the real president.
We present you with the disbursements for the month of October. I don't know at this point if you all have any questions over those disbursements.
Is there anything out of the ordinary that we need to? Any questions?
No questions.
No question.
Thank
Number
you.
2, approval of property tax refunds for the month of October 2018.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Santos, members of the audience. Tonight, we bring to you the tax refunds for the month of October. We have a taxpayer charge of logistics for amount of $1,881.99 in overpayment. There's no loss of revenue to the district. Do you have any questions?
No question.
Thank you.
Number 3, discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees funding roof replacement and repairs at the Saunders Support Center using request for proposals 216-030, labor materials for minor maintenance, repairs, and replacements for thermal moisture control building protection in the amount of $98,875 through 2013 bond proceeds designated for HVAC and building renovations. Remaining available funds, $834,518.
Good evening, board members. If I can address this item here, what this is a project or contract that's already been let out. We had some serious damage at our tax office on the roof, so we had to go ahead and issue the contract right now to repair it because we already had some water damage inside. What we're asking basically is that if we could fund this project out of bond proceeds, there's currently approximately $834,000 of unexpended, unencumbered funds in the HVAC/renovations section of our bond program. And this is the type of project that we feel qualifies as such because it's a 30-year roof. The current roof is close to 40 years old already, so it needed major replacement. So we already let this contract out. We took this item to the Bond Oversight Committee last week. They approved it unanimously to bring it forward to the board for the board's consideration to fund this through bond proceeds. And again, we do have about 834 unexpended, unencumbered funds in that section of our bond program.
It's totally allowable.
Oh, yes, ma'am, absolutely.
So a repair qualifies as a renovation?
It's basically a roof replacement.
And 98,000 will be used of the 800.
That's the contract that we let out, yes, ma'am.
So can we just hold on to the rest minus the 98 to use for other emergencies?
That'll be- that'll be-
All right, okay, go ahead, getting ahead.
All right, so, okay. Number 4, discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of additional construction for the replacement of heating, ventilation, and air conditioner system at 8800 McPherson campus, Chapel Middle School, and Los Obispos Middle School campuses using 2013 bond proceeds designated for HVAC and building renovations. Same amount, $834,500. These are balance.
Right. Again, this is along the same lines, except these projects have not been designed or let out yet. But before we move forward with these projects, again, we would like to ask the board if we could fund these projects out of that same line item that has the 834,000 unexpended, unencumbered. Again, they're the same type of projects. Over at 8800 McPherson, we need to replace the air conditioning systems at the gymnasium. As a matter of fact, there's also an attachment showing our estimated cost for these items.
What type of contract is that? Is it,
Job order contract.
It'll be a job order contract.
so that estimate's pretty reliable?
Yes, we based it on the hours means.
But is that still gonna be, you still have to negotiate, or is it set by the contract already?
They can bid any amount that is Harris means or lower,
Gotcha,
whatever's possible, they can.
So it'll be that
lower
number or
and they
less.
can ask them for their best and final.
gotcha.
Just out of curiosity, under these items that we listed in the bond, the 2013 bond, none of these were part of those items that were listed. So
No, sir.
technically, we can fit any renovation repair to any old school into this
That-
into these types of.
Right.
of-
Well, what we need to make sure is that the projects that were part of the program when it first started are done.
Well, that's where I was going to.
Right.
Have we taken care of those
Yes,
other
sir.
projects? Have we already allotted those funds for those?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 100% has been completed.
Okay, so these are just funds that were not used,
Correct.
they're,
There are surplus funds
Surplus.
within that category for building additions, renovations.
do you have a priority of projects that you can expend funds for other than the two that you've already mentioned?
Yes, sir. We have a very long list of all the items on that list.
What are, other than these two, what else do you anticipate coming around?
We have HVAC renovations district-wide, we have pavement, we have roof repairs throughout the district, playground equipment, classroom renovations, additions, yeah, remember during the bond program, we had priority 1, 2, and 3,
Right.
and we limited to the priority 1. Well, a lot of these items, priority 2, were in the millions of dollars, and they are needs throughout the district. But due to the maximum amount of the bond, those were left out. So a lot of those items, that was 5, 6 years ago, and now they've become like high priority. So,
Are any of those including in the Clark and Salinas School? No?
yes, sir.
But
Yeah,
it shows here that there might not be funds left after you do this, under this category.
Under this category,
No?
correct.
So
I'm sorry, what was the question, Mr. Montemayor?
Are any of those projects in the top priority for schools like Clark and Salinas?
Not at this point.
No.
Because we're looking at, some certain action that we're gonna take with Salinas and Clark Elementary.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Number 5, approval for the
Thank you.
district's membership in the ESC 19 Allied States Cooperative.
Good evening, members of the board. The district is requesting to join Region 19 Purchasing Cooperative. There's no cost to the district, and this would just allow another procurement source for our campuses and departments to utilize.
Questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6, approval of awarding bids, proposals, and qualifications.
Administration has the following for your consideration. RFP 2018-064, mowing services for various campuses to WCD Enterprises. RFP 2018-045, police officer uniform equipment and supplies to the vendors listed. RFQ 2018-062, other health impairments to the vendors listed. RFP 2018-058, fuel to Agindi Oil Company, Petroleum Traders, and Suncoast Resources. This is bid out every single time. I quoted out among the 3 vendors, but we do an annual contract for this service. And then we have 1 renewal for your consideration.
Any questions for Ms. Jackson?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Number 7, approval of requests from board members in reference to discretionary funds for various projects and campuses.
Mr. Montemayor, other than the requests that are included in the packet before you, we have one additional request from Raul Perales Middle School, Principal Marta Alvarez. Excuse me, sponsored by Mr. Ramiro Vélez III and Mr. Ricardo Rick Rodriguez. $2,500 each for travel, supplies, and equipment for the cheer competition.
Okay, with those additions, anybody has any questions? All right, thank you. B, informational items to be presented. Number 1, the Finance Division Monthly Financial Report.
Good evening, members of the board. We're bringing to you our superintendent's monthly financial report as of October 31st. You'll see in our cash and investment balance, we have $160,492,542. Of that, 64% of that is part of our general fund. A little more than 3% is part of the PPFCO 2018 series. This is the money we used for buses and white fleet and band instruments and school furniture. Debt service fund is $7.9 million, and our bond money is $43.2 million at this point, or 27% of our total cash and investment balance. Our portfolio yield is 2.3%, and our pull rate is 2.26%. Our administrative cost ratio actual to date is 8.21%. We budgeted 8.08%. Both are allowed by TEA, which is 11.05%. Our general fund unaudited statement shows that year-to-date, our actual revenue is $83.3 million, or 22.8% of our budgeted amount. Last year at this time, we were at 26.2%. Our year-to-date expenditures were at $101 million, 26.31% of our budget amount, and last year at this time, we're at 23.76. Our tax office collection report shows a current collection rate at 7.97%. This is from our new year levy. We've collected $16.9 million, or to date, 10.48% of our levy. Our delinquent collection rate is 33.09%, collected 2.2 million, and to date, which is today, November 14th, we're at 34.17. And you see some comparisons to last year at this time. The purchasing report has all bids and proposals awarded through October 31st, and the grants report section has the grants department activity for the month. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
No question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any public comments on this section? Okay, then, I apologize for flying through both agendas, but we have family and special guests here this evening, so I wanted to kind of move along quickly. So we're adjourned on the business committee. We're set for the special meeting, special call meetings at 6:30.